People think horses are about appearance, color, height, presence. They see a white horse and think perfect. They don't see the years underneath it. I do. I've worked with horses most of my life, not just riding, but breeding, starting, training, watching them grow from something awkward and uncertain into something solid and dependable. So when I started dating Melissa and she took to riding, it felt like something that fit. She wasn't naturally confident, but she was willing, careful, determined in a quiet way. We spent a lot of time at the barn, trail rides mostly, easy ones at first, then longer loops as she improved. She liked marking the moments. By the time we'd been together a year, the walls of my place had started to change. Photos. At the start of trails, horses clean, ears forward, light hitting just right. Holding ribbons from small local shows, leaning against fences, laughing, everything framed like it had already happened in memory. They were good photos. She had an eye for that. And I didn't mind. At the time, it felt like we were building something. So I decided to take it further. I didn't want to buy her something finished. That wasn't the point. I wanted something we could build together, a horse with the right mind, the right structure, the kind that would last. I took my time, looked at dozens, passed on more. Then I found him. Good breeder, proven lines, balanced build, calm, curious temperament. The kind of colt that didn't spook first. He thought first. And he carried the gray gene. You could already see it starting. Faint silvering around his eyes. A softness in the coat. In a few years, he'd be exactly what she described once, half joking. A proper unicorn horse. He just wasn't there yet. The day I showed her, I didn't make a big deal out of it. Just let her out to the paddock. He's yours, I said. She looked at him. Really looked. Then her expression changed. He's brown. I gave a small nod. For now, he's graying out. You can already see it starting on his face. I don't like it. The way she said it was immediate. Flat. I paused. He's young, I said. They all go through this stage. In a couple of years. I don't want a couple of years, she interrupted. She stepped closer, frowning harder now. His face looks weird, she said. It did. Patchy gray coming through, uneven, slightly mottled. Perfectly normal. Yeah, I said. That's the transition. It evens out as he matures. No, she said, sharper this time. I don't want a horse that might look good later. I wanted a white one. He will be white, I said more firmly. That's not a guess. That's genetics. I don't care about genetics, she snapped. That was the first time her voice really cut. I care about what I'm actually getting. I felt something settle in my chest. Cold as clear. This is what you're getting, I said. He's well bred. He's got an incredible temperament. He's going to... I don't want a project. She cut straight across me. I don't want to wait for a horse to become what I want. She gestured at him dismissive. I want something that already is. He had walked closer by then, curious, gentle. He lowered his head slightly toward her. She stepped back. She shook her head, frustrated now. I don't understand why you'd pick this. Not him. This. I thought you knew what I liked. I looked at her. I do, I said. That was the problem. I wanted something beautiful, she continued. Something I'd actually be excited to ride, to take photos with. Not... She trailed off, looking him over again. This awkward phase thing. There it was, clear, unfiltered. I let a few seconds pass. She didn't fill the silence, didn't soften, didn't ask a single question about him. Not his breeding, not his temperament, not why I chose him, nothing. You don't have to take him, I said. She folded her arms. I'm not going to. No hesitation, no apology, and just a decision. That was it. We stood there for another moment. He shifted his weight slightly, still calm, still watching. Completely unaware he'd just been rejected for not being finished yet. We didn't argue after that, and there wasn't anything to argue about. Once someone shows you what they value, the rest tends to fall into place. We lasted a few more days, just enough time for the realization to settle properly. Then it ended. Clean. She said I was being dramatic. Said it was just a horse. I didn't correct her. Because she was right, it was just a horse. And that was exactly the problem. I kept him. Of course I did. I named him Ash. Because I knew what he'd become. The first year was exactly what it should have been. Uneven growth, long legs, slightly out of proportion, but steady, always steady. By the second year, the gray had spread, his coat lightened, his frame filled out. People started noticing. Nice young horse, they'd say. By the third, he stood out. Bright white, strong, balanced. But more than that, reliable. The kind of horse people trust. I built around that, carefully. Started breeding programs, selected mares that matched his temperament. Not just looks, never just looks. A few years later, I saw her again, at a show. She was beside a tall, striking horse, high-headed, restless, difficult in that barely contained way you learn to recognize early. Beautiful, but not settled. She saw Ash before she saw me. Most people did. He stood quietly, one leg resting, ears flicking lazily. Finished. Her expression shifted instantly. Is that him? I nodded. She stepped closer. He's... wow. I didn't say anything. I didn't realize, she said softer now. I thought he was just, you know. I know what you thought, I said. She glanced at me, then back at him. I was wrong, she said. Clearly. A pause. Then, if you ever wanted to sell him... There it was. Clean. Simple. Transactional. I shook my head. No. I'd pay properly, she added quickly. More than what you put into him. I gave a small nod. I'm sure you would. She hesitated, waiting. I adjusted the reins. He's not for sale, I said. Not sharp, not emotional, just final. She looked at him one more time, longer this time, taking in everything she hadn't seen before, or hadn't wanted to. I really would have loved a horse like this, she said quietly. I met her eyes. You had one, I said. And then I walked away. Because some people don't miss the opportunity. They miss the version of it that comes later, after someone else did the work.